Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Mahogany True Talk. We've got a great show lined up for you, as always, as we always do. Um, and we're going to be talking about what it's like working with multinationals. Those of you that want to get into the big league or just want to expand your client base, this is what we're going to be talking about. Our guest is already online, and it's good to see him. But before we bring him on live, just want to let's get through the introductions. Let's get straight into this because I know this is a topic that people want to talk about. So first and foremost, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Mahogany True Talk. My name is Shola Yubade, aka Mr Mahogany, and the show Mahogany True Talk is a weekly interactive show brought to you by Mahogany Productions and Events, and of course, I'm your host. Mahogany Productions is an experiential event and production company that handles production and event management for clients. This show likes to focus on everything that has to do with events, from production to event management, hosts, music, food. We bring it all to you, and we bring you the top guns in the industry, like we're bringing to you today, Kunmi Ariyo, seriously top gun within the industry, to talk to you and give you the inner scope of what the industry is really like, guys. So this is True Talk. We like to say it as it is. We don't hold back. We try to give you as much information. We don't like people saying, maybe. We tell them to say it as it is. So I'm going to bring on Kunmi in a second. Let me try and find out. Kunmi, can you send me a request? Otherwise, let me... hey, my cousin's online. Tony, hi, love. Right, let me see. I'm still waiting for Kunmi. Just as he made a request to go live. Right, I think I can... So I'm going to bring her on. My main man. This anything, and I literally mean if I need anything, he's the first person I call. His black book, his knowledge, his information is just second to none. Any contact I need, there he is, the man himself. Kunmi Ariyo. Hey, Kunmi, Kunmi. Now
Mr.
this
Mahogany.
see what COVID is doing to us, so we don't get to see ourselves. It's a
Yes, I
very
can
serious.
imagine. I'm not sure I've seen you this year, but probably I've seen you once. I'm not sure. Yeah, probably seen like once.
I don't
I was like
even
once
say
or
I
twice.
think this year it's been serious. It's been serious. But before I get into the main part of the show, Kumi, if you don't mind, I just want to say a few things. As a lot of people may know within the industry, we lost a very dear person to us that passed away a couple of days ago. She was a major player within the industry, a very sweet, thoughtful, and kind person. Um, she is the CEO of Elizabeth R Events, Mrs. Ibut- sorry, excuse me,
You know,
Ibidini Dalu, who died on Sunday, the 14th, I believe, of June. If you don't mind, we just please just have a moment's silence and just to put her and her family in our prayers. May she rest in perfect peace.
amen.
That's a very sad occasion, and I've been in the
Pretty,
industry,
pretty,
but
pretty sad.
definitely hurt by it. Very unexpected. A
Mm-hmm.
beautiful young woman that has passed. Our prayers and thoughts are with her family.
Mm.
However, Mr. Kumi, right? Let me get
Yes,
straight into the show
sir.
because we've got questions for you. By the
You
time you
do?
finish today, your head, this your gray. We will turn it black by force.
I can
So,
see
as I
that.
always like to
I'm
do,
afraid.
as I always like to do with my guests, let me introduce Kumi to everybody. Kumi Ariyo is the founder and CEO of Mirus Events, a leading event management company operating out of Nigeria. Kumi began his work career at V-Mobile as an HR administrator, adding valuable input to the company during his time. He also worked with No Surprises events where he was operations manager. With a track record of way over 4 years, his company Mirus Events has gone on to execute and manage an average of 60 events, including Google for Nigeria 2017 2018 in partnership with Blend from South Africa, the CAF Awards 2018, TechCrunch Battlefield Africa 2018, and the Google Impact Challenge Awards. He is committed to sparkling collaborations in the event industry and creating impactful, memorable events. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the one and only Kunmi Ariyo.
Yay! Forgive me, I'm just trying to set
I
my
know.
camera.
We can see.
Probably.
See,
Onos
this
is
is
the
how
one that knows how to do.
well-organized event people are. They come in, they're
Yeah,
always prepared for anything, as you can see.
yeah. And yeah, I just need it. Yeah, perfect. This thing I better not fall.
It better not fall. Let something shock it. Let something
Yeah,
shock it
anyway, I'm good.
there. And put
I'm
a
good.
book or something that will shock it so that it will not move.
Great.
If you see how mine is, you will understand as well. So,
Perfect.
Kumi, how have you been? How have you been? How have you been? How have you been?
I've been good. Been good. Been surviving the season. Taking time off to relax, to re-strategize, and to stay alive, most importantly.
Amen to that, my brother. People are dying around us like flies. People
Yeah,
that keep saying it's not real, they don't have a clue
they,
about
they
how real
totally
this
do
thing
not have a clue until it hits close to home. Then you'll know that it's real.
is. Exactly. And I
Yay!
thought light has come.
Yeah.
we
Give me a
we
second. Let
know
me put on the
we know
AC. Give
our
me a minute.
warning signal. See, when people disappear like this, guys, that means they're going to do changeover of generator from light to NEPA. These are the things that we
Fortunately, the
go
gem
through in
wasn't on, so I'm
Nigeria.
good. Yeah.
So, Kumi,
Great,
let's
great,
let's
great,
get
great,
down to
great.
business. We know that before you started your company, you worked with V Mobile and No Surprises. Yes.
Mm-hmm,
Tell us about how you got
mm-hmm,
into doing events for
mm-hmm.
multinationals, because that's the area that we want to talk about, and also define for us what a multinational is. So please, for us on the kind of what organizations are considered multinationals, what does that mean to the average person in Africa that is listening to this?
Okay. So let me give the dictionary definition of multinationals. So multinational is a corporation or organization that owns is a corporate organization that owns or controls production of goods or services in at least one country other than its home country. So I mean a multinational is any company that is in more than one country, so to speak, basically. And
So that makes me
I
a
will.
multinational. Me, I'm in England, I'm in Gambia. Am I in a multinational?
You are a big boy, a
Yeah, okay.
multinational. So yeah, I mean, think about the chevrons, the mobiles of this world, the shells, that's the oil companies. Think about the banks, the Zeniths, the GTBs. Think about the tech companies, the Facebooks, the Googles, the YouTubes, TechCrunch, and so many other companies. And let me start by how I got into events
Mm-hmm.
before we delve into how I got into multinational. So I got a job at No Surprises in 2010 as admin, HR and admin executive.
Mm-hmm.
So that was basically what I was meant to be doing, HR and admin, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was desk work. I wasn't expected in the field, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
I remember shortly after I started working, I went for my first event. I think this was like either about 2 weeks or a month or 3 weeks after I started working. I went for my first event. I remember it was a Big Brother Nigeria event. It was Uti's winning party, and I remember it was at some club on Adjusted Adogo, you know, and I liked it. It's fun, you know. Then planned my second event, which was a wedding for one of the top comedians in Nigeria. I liked it too, you know. And then I started going to the field, and I I thought this is some crazy, ridiculous job that you people are doing. But the funny thing is that I liked it. I remember some event we did from some multinational, and it was in Ibadan. And I remember the day before the event, we didn't sleep because we were trying to set up and pack some stuff. We didn't sleep. I didn't take my bath throughout that event because I was up all night. I can't. Did I go back to the hotel? I honestly can't remember, but I was up all through. I didn't take my bath, and I was thinking, what kind of madness? What kind of madness is this? But I enjoyed it, you know. And I started doing more field events, and then after a while, they made me operations and admin. They took me away from HR, made me operations and admin officer. And then I think my boss just realized that this boy is wasted. We are wasting his time in this admin. Is not performing. So they moved me completely to operations,
Mhm.
and so I became an operations officer. Then I became an operations manager, and then I was really going out into the field, and I'd never seen anything. I'd never seen anything like event. I'd never thought about it before. I'd never thought about wanting to do events before, and then I started going into the field, and it was thrilling, you know. I'd hear people say, "Man, this your work is stressful," and I'm like, hmm. But I totally enjoyed. It was stress that I liked, you know.
Mhm.
So I worked there for 3 years, and then I resigned, and I started my I started Mirus Events. This was in 2014, and my first event with a multinational. Apparently, it
So
was
you started big. See you. You
no,
came
I
in.
didn't
You
start big.
did
No, I
your
didn't
own.
start big. That
I
wasn't. No, I
started
started
big.
that big. I didn't start big. No, Mirror started in January. My first event with a multinational was until October. You
Mhm.
know, my first event ever as Mirrors was it was it was for it was for it was something to do with the Future Awards, if I remember correctly. So I did that event. I got paid, and I was like, man, this is a sweet life. And then I didn't get any event for like 3 months. You know, and and then I did a funeral. After that,
Yeah, I
I did
remember that. No.
um then we did this event that we worked on together, if you remember, Lagos Jazz Series.
Yes. I remember.
Me on that event. Fair. I think you recommended me to handle something for that event. So uh,
Logistics, and you were doing
yeah,
other
yeah,
things for them. Yes.
yeah. So I did that. While I was doing that event, I met one of the clients from my former company at the hotel, and he was like, "Hey, it's good to see you. What do you do now?" I said, "Oh, I do events." He said, "Oh, why didn't you let us know?" And I'm like, "Why would I do that? I'm not trying to steal anybody's clients. Why would I do that?" So I just smiled and I let it go. And then I got a Facebook message. I think it was like this was in this was in I think it was in September. I got a Facebook message saying, "Hey, Kumi, I need your number. Could you send me your number, or could you give me a call?" And this was from somebody that was in a company that we used to plan events for when I was at my former company.
Hmm.
So I called my former boss immediately and I said, "Hey, these guys are reaching out to me. I think they want to do something." And she said, "Kumi, do it." She
Okay.
said, "Do it." So I gave them a call. I said, "Oh, we have an event. We have a small event. We have a small training for 3 days. Can you handle this?" I think it was for about 50 people. I said,
Hmm.
"Yeah." So I did that in October. And then they came back and said, "Oh, we have another one in November. And we have another one in December." And then I did those as well. And then some other, in the space of October and December, I planned 6 events for that
Wow.
company, you know, and the small events. I was doing them to the best of my ability. And then, I mean, the other events started coming. They started referring me to other people, and I said I got into the world of multinationals, and then I just realized that I saw that I liked it more, so I decided to build a career in corporate events,
Okay.
and here we are.
When you say corporate events, you mean corporate events as opposed to weddings and parties? What do you mean? I got
Yes,
into corporate.
yes, as
Explain to the
opposed to
people that are
yes,
listening.
as opposed to social events, as opposed to weddings, as opposed to parties, we would rather do so. We typically do not do weddings. We
Mm-hmm.
will do social events, but it's not our event of preference. But we will, I mean, the corporates are what we're going, what we're headed towards. Corporates, award ceremonies, concerts, we will do all of that. That's what we thrive on
Mm-hmm.
that. Tech events, we totally thrive on that. We love to do that. But I mean, if somebody called me out and said, hey, we have a wedding, before you even start to say who the wedding is for or how much you want to pay me, I'll say we don't plan weddings. So yeah.
Okay, so Kunmi, getting into there's a lot of people that here. There's a lot of people that are on here that are in the event industry. There's quite a few planners. I saw Toby. I saw Mike Gigi. I saw Wonderworks. Anyway, there's quite a few people here that are here. Now, a lot of us do big events, do social events, do corporate events, from AGMs to other things. What if, for example, now Mahogany wanted to work with a multinational, yes? What are the things that we have to consider? What are the things that as a company do we have to put in place, both from a legal perspective to documentation to how we run ourselves as an organization? What are the sort of things that we have to put into place to be able to have a multinational consider us? Do we have to go for a process? Do we have to submit documentation? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? I want to know
Yes.
what's involved in it.
Yes. So there are a couple of documentations that you might that corporates typically like to ask for. First of all, your company must be registered for starters.
Is that limited or just a trade name? Can I do a trade name?
Well, I don't know the details of a trade name. My company is not a trade name, so I won't say, but I don't know if that will work. But
okay, just for the clarification purposes, it has to be a limited company, guys. So just so that you know, it can't be a trade name. But I was just
yes,
asking
more
you
or
for
less a
just in
limited,
case he
yeah,
he.
limited company. Because mine is a limited company, so they'll ask for your certificate of incorporation and then your form. I think it's your form CA2. Your shareholders documents and all of that from CA from I don't know, I can't remember that there are like two different forms that I know that they typically ask for. Bank reference letter, so you can't be using your personal account to run your business. Your a reference letter from the bank. Some companies will ask you for your tax clearance. There's a company that I recently had with, which was last month. They asked me for my tax clearance for the last 3 years. I'm glad we had that. And then some companies will ask for like HSE certificates. I think that all companies ask for that. So you must have gone through
Explain what that is to
HSE.
people.
So some of them ask for that. So and then yeah, those are basically the HSE policies. Yeah, Toby, thank God I have people like Toby.
Pension,
Yeah.
employees liability as well. Employees liability. Some people have asked for pension payments, proof of pension
I've
payments.
asked, and
It varies on the
so
company.
the list is not exhaustive. So I've had companies also ask for anti-bribery policy.
Yes,
Some companies
that's
have asked
right.
for anti-bribery policy, and all of that. So it's not the list is not It's there's a checklist. I'll look for a checklist, and I'm sure that I can get that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's mostly the documentations that I will ask for. But aside from your documentation, besides all of this documentation, that cannot tell whether you can do a good job or not. So you must have been building yourself to a place of capacity to handle this type of events. You know, what my company has thrived on is referrals. So most of the businesses we do, not most, all of the businesses we've done as Mirus Events have come from referrals. You know, so you need to be able to build. You need to be able to build a name for yourself. And I know it's easy for you to say, "Oh, I'm just starting out. I'm not able to do that." The reason, and I'll go back to the first multinational I worked with. The reason why they were able to call me was because of my track record where I was working at. You know, so that they had the quality of work that I'd done. They had seen my capacity. So it was easy for them to come and say, "Hey, let's reach out to Kunmi to do this. We know that he started his own company, so let's help him." And that was it. You know, so you need to be able to build a track record. In yeah, build a track record, understand the business, know the differences between the corporates and the socials. You know, understand that when you're dealing with corporates, you're dealing with brands, and that is like the most important thing for the corporates. Their brand and their brand objectives. Their brand is not just their name, it's not just their color, it's not just how they look, it's how they're perceived, it's everything. So you really, when you're thinking about the event, you need to consider the brand of whatever company it is you're working with, and you need to ask them, what are your objectives? What are your brand objectives for this event? I tell people, if you plan an event, if you plan an event for a multinational, and all people are saying at the end of the event is that the food and drinks were good, or that the artists' performances were good, you have failed, unless that was what you were trying to achieve. If that wasn't the brand objective for the event, people need to be able to talk. There should be talkability about the brand objective at the end of that event. Apart from the good food, apart from the nice decor, apart from the nice performances and all of them, people should be able to talk about what the event was all about, the objectives of the event. And that is your job as a planner, to meet the objectives of the clients, to meet the client
Kunmi,
as a planner.
that's a very interesting thing that you brought up here about brand objectives, because for most, I'm assuming this, and I'm sure people that are on here will correct me if I'm wrong, but for most Nigerian events that we do, and I'm talking from experience, and my Giga and Wiry and others that are here might correct me, it's very rare that I have a conversation with Nigerian companies about brand objective. They know what their event is. They know what they want to do. Is that the same thing as brand objectives?
When you say they know what they want to do,
me,
what do they
I
want to
found
do?
Nigerian companies, is that brand objective? Because I found with Nigerian companies that at the end of it, when they find out that everyone's like, "Oh, that was a fantastic event. That was a lovely event," then they're happy. Is that different?
It's different because it's a fantastic event. So were you just trying to blow money? Were you just trying to spend money for people to say it was a fantastic event? What are you trying to get? There must be something you're trying to achieve with that event. So if people say that's a fantastic event and that is all they are saying about your brand, it's a problem. Do you get what I'm saying? What are you trying to achieve with that event? Yes, you can be. There are companies that want people to be able to say that when it comes to planning this kind of parties, this company is the best. And I'm talking about corporates. Some corporates want to be able to say, when it comes to planning this end of year party, we are the best. You know, some want to say, when it comes to planning this food and drinks event, we are the best. Or when it comes to planning this fashion event, we are the best. Do you understand? But aside from that, even when you talk about that, there must be they are trying to, what are they trying to achieve? Are they trying to let people know that, hey, we're a lifestyle company, or we care about your lifestyle, or we're into food and drinks, or we care about your well-being? What are they trying to say? There must be something that they're trying to say, and that people must be able to understand that at the end of the event. you know. So you should
Okay.
ask them, what are you trying to achieve? What exactly are you trying to achieve? That's the question, actually. What are you trying to achieve with this event?
I mean, just there, Toby says, and when you're talking brand objectives, they are looking at you. But I actually want to pick up on what Wonderwork says, because I think there's a little bit of confusion between how some of us might see it and what a brand objective is for a multinational. Wonderwork says each event has an objective. I think what we're saying is that there's a difference between an objective and what is brand objective, brand awareness. Like Bunny says, I think brand objectives per event in Nigeria is a
broad question.
Is a broad question. There is rarely any specificity and an objective per event, especially when it comes to concerts and parties. So I'm sorry, I know I'm harping on this a bit, but I think it's a very important thing.
I think I'll disagree with Bunny a bit, because even when they're doing concerts and parties, they want you to be able to, they're trying to say something. Yeah. So if a brand is sponsoring a concert, they might be trying to tell you we're cool like that. They might be trying to target the musically inclined and tell them we are cool like this. We are inclined like this. They're trying to say something. And then because brands have a lot of brands have different products and different target audiences. They're trying to appeal to different audiences based on their different products. So a brand is, you have a brand like, and sometimes you see them at a concert, but you're not saying Guinness, you're saying Malta Guinness, because that's the target audience they're trying to reach at that event. You get what I'm saying? So they're always trying to let you know that, hey, we want to reach out to this set of clients based on some set of products that we have.
So basically, it's like having a brand awareness, for example. It's like for a drink company like Budweiser, if we just say Budweiser, they're not going to say they're doing a concert and then everybody that is invited is under the age of 18, because that's not achieving their brand awareness. So what I'm trying to say to people that are listening, if you are looking for multinationals and you are pitching, you need to understand the brand. You need to understand who is their target.
You need to understand their demographics. You need understand who they're targeting.
That's right. So I think that's very, very important that people understand that. So, but when we look at multinationals, Kunmi, you've been lucky. You've worked both sides of the fence. You've worked for multinationals. You've worked for Nigerian companies. You've also worked for individuals. You worked for other companies, and you've also worked for yourself. What would you say are the main differences between working for individuals, local companies, and multinationals? What's the difference between the two sets?
Shala, there's no local company. Don't let them hear you.
Well, you understand what I'm saying. I don't forget this goes out to the whole of Africa. So everybody has
that's why I said there's no local company.
That's different. But the difference between home
what I'll say,
companies and multinationals.
I'm being careful.
I like having you say it as it is, Kunmi, as it is. Yeah. Well, you don't need to name them, but
I can say the difference between working with individuals and working with corporates. Yeah, it is the brand. With the corporates, you're looking out for the brand. You're thinking the brand essence. You're thinking about the brand. You're thinking about the objectives. You're thinking. So, okay. Let me paint a scenario. Yeah, you're doing an event for an individual. He tells you, I want blue. I want blue decor, blue this. I want blue this, red this, and everything. You're dealing with a corporate, and the corporate tells you, I want blue. You can't just go and get blue. If they tell you our brand colors are blue, red, and green, you can't just get blue, red, and green because there are different shades of blue, there are different shades of red, and there are different shades of green.
That's right.
Coca-Cola red is different from YouTube red. First Bank blue is different from Facebook blue. You need to understand, and I'll tell you, I'll give you a live example. So I was doing an event for a corporate in 2013. Set up the day before, we put up all the branding. I was feeling fly. I was feeling super cool. Colors were red, blue, green, and yellow. I was feeling fly. We had set up. Everything was on point, in my opinion. It's fine. I took pictures, snapping pictures. I sent it out, sent it to the clients. And the client replied me, "This is not our blue." All right.
That's right.
What do you mean this not? What do you mean this is not your blue? Blue is blue, and I'm colorblind. Let me mention that I'm colorblind. So I'm like, what do you mean this is not your blue? This is the blue. So I put up this blue. Put up that. I said it's the same thing. This blue is blue. I said this is not our blue. That was when I started to learn about Pantones. Yeah, you know, there are Pantone colors, RGB colors. What are people talking about? They said, what Pantone? So the client replied and said, can you ask the printer what Pantone he used for the blue? I'm like, what are you talking about? What is Pantone? Hey. So that was my first lesson. We changed all the branding that night. We changed everything. You know, and that was when I learned that when it comes to corporate, you can't play with their colors.
You can't.
know,
Kumi, I
you
feel your
can't.
pain. Kumi, I feel your pain. We went through it as well with Union Bank, where we got the blue slightly wrong, the shade. We had to start again. And there's
You,
no
you,
even
you understand?
any debate
And
about
there's no
There's no
discussion.
debate.
I remember I was doing
Yeah.
an event 2 years ago. Same is this same blue, blue. So we put up the branding, we've set up, finished setting up the whole. We were using different places, so there were multiple events for the same company. So we finished setting up in one place, and then the guy comes in and says, "This blue is not correct." I'm like, "Nah." I said, "This is the blue you gave us." He said, "No, this blue is not correct." I said, "Okay." So the printer print again. Fortunately, this particular event, we had the hall for like 3 days before the event. So we had started setting up 3 days earlier. So this wasn't the day before, this was 2 days before the event that we had finished setting up. I told the printer, I print everything again. They printed everything again. The guy came back and said, "It's still not working." I went to meet one of his colleagues. I said, "Please, can you talk to your colleague? This is the blue they gave us. We have printed again. This is the blue." Just the guy said, "No, it's not working." And then he quickly sent an email. You know, when a client sends email, you're in trouble.
Yes.
He said, "I just got back from the venue and I just realized that the blue is not the blue of the color." I gently called the printer. I said, "Okay, do it again." So we did that thing 3 times before we eventually got the blue. And client was happy.
I think a quick, sorry to interrupt you there, Kumi, a quick lesson to everybody that's listening here is that when you work with corporates, they normally know the patent color. So if you go to them and say, "Can you give me the patent numbers of your different colors?" If they
so I
give
can
it
get the
to
printer.
you, printers, and you give it to the printer, unless you got a very bad printer, he will get it correct first time. So that's a lesson. Please always get the patent number.
Shola, when you say unless you have a very bad printer, now you might not have a bad printer, but you might have a printer that is trying to save ink, which I've had an issue with once. I was trying to.
Whoa.
I was doing an event once, and then we had to print black. We had to print banners, media walls, and it was on a black background. And then, I mean, I'm thinking you can't. There's no Pantone for black, is there? You can't get black wrong. They print the black, and this event was for a big massive company that I've been dying to work, as in dying to work with. A Fortune 500 company, I've been dying to work for them. Black, just black. The guy messed it up big time, you know, messed it up big time. As a matter of fact, let me tell you, the client gave us, at the end of the event, client gave us 1.5 over 10. And this was only
Whoa,
because, yeah,
that's low.
yeah. And this was because of the branding. If I show you pictures from that event,
Oh, I remember
you
the
you
event. I remember the
yeah, if I
event.
show
I
you
remember the
pictures
event.
from that event, you'll be like, man, this event was amazing. As in your eyes, not in the client's eyes. You know? So um
Yeah, so you're
I
talking about
think
the difference between individuals and not multinationals or corporates. And
um so the brand, and then for corporate, you have to know what type of event is it that you're doing, what's the format, what type of events, AGMs, end of year party, staff retreats. I think I wrote down a couple of events. Yeah, award ceremonies, conferences, experiential marketing events, staff retreats. You need to know what type of event it is that you're doing and the dynamics of that event. So the client tells you we're doing a conference. You need to start asking questions, because if you don't, you might get into trouble. You start asking questions like, what's the format of your event? Classroom style, conference style seating? Are you having panel discussions? Yes. What type of seats? How many people on the panel? What type of chairs do you want to use for your panel? Are you having demo presentations? What would you like to use for your demo presentations? What kind of table? What kind of desk? What kind of slab? What kind are they going to be? Multimedia presentations? Are they going to be videos? Can we have the videos? Can we test the videos? All those things. Do you want to play your videos live? Do you want to play your videos live? Because I've done some events where clients have said, oh, we want to play the videos live, want to play them want to pull them from online and play them directly. I always advise against that
hey,
because of internet. I never allow that to happen
internet.
because of internet in Nigeria, you know. So those are the kind of questions you start to ask when you're doing when you're dealing with corporates, you know. Is the event
Okay, so
scripted? Do you
what
have
would
to
you
report?
say are your major challenges? What would you say are your major challenges, or that you face when you work with multinationals?
Timing. Timing is one. No, let me start.
Explain, expand shape, please. Which
Let me
one?
start.
Expand
Let me
shape.
start from the very beginning. Putting together pitches. It's one of my biggest headaches. Big. Shala, you know what I'm saying?
I know, I know.
You know. So you're pitching, or the client, they've asked you to put together a pitch. One you spent 1 week of sleepless nights putting together the pitch. Then you pitch, nothing happens. Or you pitch, they don't call you back, and you see your ideas. Then they do the event and you see your ideas.
Tell me about it.
uh, you know, or you pitch, and then they tell you to tweak the ideas. You tweak, and then they say you still were not selected. After you spend like a month doing the merry-go-round. That's the first one. Second one is timing. Timing in the sense that sometimes clients come to you. So typically for some events, depending on the scale, an event that you typically would plan for like 2 months or 3 months, the client is coming to you a month before the event, and they want you to perform exactly the same magic you would have done if it took you 3 months to plan the event. That's a big challenge.
But in those circumstances, do you charge them more because you have less time?
Yeah, sometimes you have to. Even your vendors will charge you more. So I mean, it goes without saying. Sometimes they don't agree, but sometimes, I mean, yeah. But
Okay, so we have pitch, we have
clients, I
timing.
love.
What
I
else?
mean, I've had clients. Yeah. Branding is something I've already spoken about. I mean, I'm getting the branding right, getting the colors right, and all of that. I mean, with your vendors, printing and all of that. Printing is also another challenge, you know. And I'll give you an example. So I'm doing this event, and I needed to print 200 T-shirts. Yeah, it's 200 T-shirts. And so I sent a picture. I sent a picture to the vendor saying, "Hey, this is the type of T-shirts we want with a logo." I said, but that wasn't the logo for the event.
Mm-hmm.
And then I sent him the logo for the event, and I said, "Print." So that printed, delivered. I remember it was a Saturday. So I said, "Let me just go and see." This was like 5 days before the event. I said, "Let me just even go and see these T-shirts." Bring out the T-shirts. It's the logo of the picture that I sent, not the logo of the event.
I knew you were going to say that.
200 T-shirts. Ah, ha! I said, "Father Lord." Ah. So I called, because I called the vendor, and they made it happen. I can't imagine if those T-shirts were delivered the day before the event. I can't imagine what would have happened, you know. And yeah, I mean, it's printing issues. Those things have happened. They happen. So I always try to get all my printing done way before the. I try as much as possible, if I have the time, to get it done way before. So if there are any issues, if there are any if there are any mistakes, sometimes we do samples, but I mean, it's not all the time you have the luxury of time to do samples. If you have the time, do the sample. Get a sample. Make sure you see it before they start to mass produce. You know, um, and then vendors deliver. So the timing I've spoken about initially was from the client side, and then timing on the sides of the vendors delivering on time, vendors agreeing to deliver as at when due. It is only in Nigeria that you will tell a vendor, or you will agree with a vendor, you are going to deliver on Thursday. I need this items by on Thursday by 5 p.m. You have agreed. The vendor has agreed that he will deliver on or before 5 p.m. on Thursday. It's 5:05. You call the vendor. "Hey, it's 5:05. I haven't gotten the stuff." And he's looking at you surprised. It's only 5:05. And I'm thinking, are you supposed to be surprised, or you're supposed to be apologizing that you are late? And the guy is wondering, "Oh, guy, why is the vex now? It's just 5:05. It's just 5 minutes after 5 o'clock." And I'm thinking, if not for the Jesus in me, I'll slap the taste out of your mouth. And I can't. Do you understand? And I mean, it's rampant. So you tell it, it's rampant. Send me the documents by 3 o'clock, 3:30. Where's my document? It's coming. Where is it coming to? I need this thing at the venue. And then you call me and say, "We're on our way." Where exactly are you? We're on our way. And then you are in Lekki, and then they tell you, "We're in VI." 4 hours has gone by, and they're still in VI. God bless our vendors.
So I'm sure there are a lot of people that are on here now that are just laughing because they've gone through or they go through exactly the same thing
Oh,
every
trust
single time.
me. Happens to the best of us.
It definitely
Happens to
does.
the best of us.
Please, guys, if you have questions for
You
Kunmi,
know.
please start firing them in. We've got about another 10, 15, 12 minutes left. So if you've got any questions about working with multinationals from Kunmi, let's find out. Please ask them. So for many event planners that want to work with multinationals, we've talked about this. On a lighter note, no, please, let me have questions, guys. If you have any questions, Kunmi, what else do you want to tell us about what it's like working with multinationals or things we need to think about? What else do you have can you give us?
Okay, so let me talk about what if you were planning to go into this. Let me say the kind of things that you should look out to. First of all, you need to learn the business. You need to learn the business, and
What do you mean by
yeah,
needing to
either.
learn the business? Because they're already
So
in the
that's what I
event.
want to
So what is
explain.
it they need to learn?
So I'm even starting for people that are not in events.
Oh, okay, okay.
If you are not, learn the business of events. Take a course or understudy. Work with someone, understudy, and if you're in events, if you want if now I notice that there are people that are in events that have absolutely no idea what the corporate space is like, and they think that it is exactly the same way as the social space. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's not. Yeah, I remember a staff of mine when he when he started working with me. So the first meeting we had, I said, "Oh, we're going to." I think I started talking about branding. I said decor, and in his mind, he was just thinking table setting and all of that. I said, "No, it's decor, the branding, everything, stage, everything from backdrops to media walls to branding in the hall and everything." And he had never seen anything like he had never seen anything like that. He totally didn't understand what I was saying, you know. And it's different. It's not the same. Sometimes things need to be scripted, you know. Things need to be scripted. You need to rehearse. You need to just basically learn what it entails to run a corporate event.
Mm-hmm.
Intern with people that are in the field. Learn, spend time, not 1 month, not 2 months, not 3 months. Spend time to learn, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and gain experience. Work for someone. If you don't want to work for anybody, intern in a place where you have to work, not intern by phone call. I want to ask question. No, get on the field and work. Yeah, and then if you're trying to get into this space, and I know that there are people that are saying, "No, I'm trying to get into corporate. Nobody's giving me an opportunity. Nobody's giving me a chance." Have you ever thought about working for free? Yeah,
True.
it sounds ridiculous. You're thinking, work for free. Tell them, look, I want to do this. I'll do this for you guys. I won't take any money. I'll do this for you. I want to prove myself. If you believe that you're that good, work for free. Do your first event for free.
That's right.
Work for free. Yeah. Go out there and tell them, I know my onions. I can do this. Don't pay me. Just let me do this. Give me your feedback when it's done. If you really know your onions, you'll do that. If you do the event and it comes
And
out
that's
well,
that's
trust me,
actually
it'll start to
essential.
pay.
That's essential, Kumi, because remember when I came back, I did my first job with you guys, no surprises, for Love Like a Movie. How much did you guys
Yeah,
pay? I think it was like 200K,
I can't remember.
and we worked for like
Work
about
for a week.
nearly a
Oh, no, two
month.
weeks.
Was it 2 weeks?
No, I mean we,
Non-stop,
we
2
were on
weeks. We were in
set.
the
We were on
hotel.
set. We were on set for 2 weeks.
Yeah, but I had to do that because I needed Nigerian experience, and I can tell you guys
I
what
needed to
I
prove
learned
yourself.
from that. It changed the whole way in which I did business in Nigeria from that one event. Sorry, Kumi,
That
to
was one of my
interrupt you.
best
Continue.
events. That was one of my best events ever, 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 ever. One of my best events ever. You know. So be willing to work for free. Get a mentor. Get a mentor. Mentor is not the person you'll be calling every day and you think you'll be picking your call. Oh. It might not happen like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But get a mentor. Yeah. And understudy the person. Understudy the person. Even if you don't have a one-on-one relationship with that person, understudy the person. You would learn. You would learn a whole lot. Attend conferences. Attend conferences. I mean, right here in Lagos, we have the event experience Africa Texas, which is a
Mm-hmm.
3-day event. Attend conferences, you'll learn. And if you can, attend conferences out of the country. I mean, Shola, you and I have been for a special event. I mean, it's one of the biggest
Yep.
conferences related to events worldwide, and I can't tell you the amount of things I've learned from attending the special events, you know, attending the
That's
event,
right.
meeting people. It's a way. And then
So,
join an event association,
Peridot Creations.
you know.
Peridot Creations has a question for you. It says, how do you deal with companies that tend to use your ideas and plans for a particular event that wasn't given to you? I mean, you spoke about it earlier where you pitch and then
That's
they
not
take your
right.
ideas. Yeah.
So it's tricky. But one of the things that I try to do now is I try not to send documents to clients. So if we put ideas together, we tell them, you know, we'll come and pitch these ideas to you, but we can't give you the document. And if we're giving it to you, you have to sign a non-disclosure or something.
Good.
When you start putting it like that, that you have to sign, trust me, they will not choose you because they know that you can sue them. They will not use your events. They will not use your ideas. Hire a lawyer. Don't think you're too small to hire a lawyer.
Okay. Magige says, will you say the power of delivering a good event can give potential clients and keep existing clients? Sorry, I'm not sure I get the question. Will you say the power of delivering a good event can give potential clients and keep existing clients?
Get potential clients. I think that's what she's trying to say. Can get potential clients and keep existing clients. I think that's what she's trying to say. Yes, okay. I'd say that because in Mirus Events, all our clients have been from referrals. I'll give you a story. So in 2018, a prospective client came to us, and it's a multinational, but it was a South African arm of that company that came to us and said, hey, we want to do this event in Nigeria. And our initial thoughts were to bring all our vendors from South Africa. But we spoke to another company in South Africa that has worked with you, and they vouched for you. And we're going to go with you. Everything you say on this event, every vendor that you bring, we're going to go with whatever you say regarding this event. You get. And for that new company, I've done two events for them. I did 2 events for them last year. So it's the quality. Sometimes I hear people tell me, Kunmi, you're lucky that you work with multinationals. I tell them I'm not lucky. I've just chosen to stay on my game, because trust me, if I'd done an event and it wasn't good, they'd leave and they'll find somebody else. And there was something, a client told me this years ago. He said, you know what, we multinationals are very lazy. If you do a good job, we won't bother looking for anybody else.
That's right.
This was like I learned this like the first year of business. The person said, we multinationals are lazy. If you do a good job, we'll just leave it. And it's true.
It's true.
It really is true.
They believe in loyalty. They don't like to, you know, these multinationals have a saying which is basically, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
If it ain't broken, yeah.
Do you understand? So that is it, and that's one of the things that we always say. I mean, we've had, I think, very much the same saying, which is you're only as good as your last event. You know, and people need to bear that in mind. You know, you have one event that messes you up, and it can affect you for months, if not years to come. People will continue talking about that event. I know how many times you and I have spoken. He said, "I'm so glad I didn't do that event. I'm so glad I didn't do that event."
I remember the event. There was an event. There was an event that myself and Shola pitched for, and they eventually took Shola for that event. Hey. Then the day before the event, I go to the venue to do a recce for another event, and I see Shola there, and I'm like, hey, thank you, Jesus. I was so glad that I didn't get that event. So glad.
My Gege knows the event. He knows what we went through.
Of course. Of course you would. Because I saw her there as well.
Kunmi, you know what was really painful about this, yes? I don't care what anybody says. This was the best event that they had ever done. It was the biggest event they had ever done. They had stressed us out to everything. But you know, they came back to us and said it was the worst event they had ever done in their
You
life.
told me. You told me that.
We had live
told me.
streaming for 3 presidents or 3 or 4 presidents across Africa.
Yeah, I remember that.
We had, anyway, let me not even go.
I really felt sorry for you. I really felt sorry for you for that event. Really, I really felt sorry for you, honestly.
Event Extra will tell you as well, because they with us what we went through. And
let me say,
we made is that as the event planner, you get all the blame. Whether it was your fault, not your fault, whether the client messed up, you get the blame. End of story.
Shola, let me say something relating to what you just said. Yeah. So, the events that you want to plan, or the events that clients come to me to plan, or some clients have come to me and they said, we want to use so and so for our decor, or want to use this for our lights, or want to do this with our sound, and I know that the outcome of whatever it is they want to do is not going to be good. What I've learned to do is that I've learned to walk away when it is areas that it is glaring to the eyes. If it goes bad, it's glaring to the eyes of the guests. I walk away from that event, and I'll tell you why. People walk into your event and peradventure the sound is bad. What they're going to say is, man, I went to that event, the sound is bad. I want to use that event planner. I don't want to use whoever that event planner was that they used for that event. You know that the sound wasn't your fault. You know that it was a client that decided to go cheap or use whoever it was that they decided to use, and against your advice. You know that. But how many people are you going to explain that to? Same thing with decor. If the decor goes bad and you have advice, you know that it's not going to work. You walk away. I've learned to walk away. I'd rather protect my brand than make money from one event that might impact other events down the line. So I've learned to walk away, because my brand, we go soon be not multinational now, nothing. We have to protect the brand.
You have to protect the brand.
So
I think that's a fantastic point that Kunmi has made. I mean, when we first started, we were always scared to walk away. I mean, I think now when my Gege actually runs Mahogany now, she has no problem nowadays in saying, Mr. Scholes, we're not doing it, they will mess us up. And I think that event that I spoke to you about earlier was a classic example of when you have to suddenly realize and say, guys, it is not worth it. Walk away. Kunmi, it's been fantastic having you. You've been so great. It's been very insightful. We've learned a lot. I'm sure people that have been on here have learned a lot. Guys, please show your appreciation as we always do. Wave, thumbs up, love hearts, as we say thank you to Kunmi, the maestro of multinational events. I'm going to put him on the spot here, name some of the people he's named: DHL, Google, YouTube. Jesus, I can't remember all of them. There have been so many, the ones out of South Africa, Apple, so many others that we have. Wonderworks saying, are you finishing? We want us to continue. People don't want to sleep today.
Let me say one or two things.
You got 45 seconds. Otherwise, we're gonna have to restart, Kunmi. So if you want to restart, let me know. Otherwise, you've only got 38 seconds.
No, we can restart. We can restart if you want us to.
Okay, so Kunmi, let me just hold it there. Kunmi, let me hold it there. Let's just restart, guys. We're gonna restart. Everybody, we're coming straight back. So do not disappear, because in fact, a lot of people are saying